love lives here.
Here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, this year we are working with a theme, Living Everyday Wonder, and we are looking at, from February through December, we're looking at various aspects of our lives, various realms of our lives, if you will, and we are looking at how we can apply everyday wonder and living everyday wonder in each of those areas. So you've heard me say it several times already, so I'll say it again anyway, just for good measure, and you're going to hear it even more. The theme for this month is living everyday wonder in the realm of, in the area of our lives, in our creative lives, in our creativity. So this is where we're headed for this month. Sound good? Yes. All right. That was enthusiastic. I like that. You said it with confidence. There's another one to say it with, right? All right. So today, we're going to say yes to the yes. Yes to the yes. What does that mean? You're going to find out, right? Because I'm going to tell you about it. You're going to learn a little bit about it. Perhaps you'll come along with me on this journey. Perhaps you won't. That's okay too. Say yes to that too. It's all good because it's all creative. So you know that you are a creative being, yes? Really? All right. So because you are alive and you are a human being, you are creative. Do you accept that to be a truth? Yes. Okay, good. Because sometimes when we say the word creative or creativity, we immediately jump to the word of like artistic. And then we're like, oh no, I'm not creative because I can't do anything more than put a dot or a line on a piece of paper. Right? That is the extent of my creativity. I can't write beautiful music or play beautiful music or paint or do any of this. So no, I'm not creative. But what we know is that the universe itself is creative. The universe itself, spirit itself, is forever creating, correct? It is always creating. And if spirit is all that there is, if the universe is all that there is, then that which I am is that as well. So therefore, everything that the spirit is, I must be too. Yes? So therefore, if the universe is creative, the universe is perpetually in creation, perpetually creating more and more of itself out of the substance of itself, then the very who of who I am must be creativity, not just creation, but creativity. And not just creativity, but creator. Right? Because if God is all there is, or spirit is all that there is, the universe is all that there is, and what we know about the universe is that it is creative. That is one of the aspects of it. And it is also love. That's another aspect. It is peace. It is harmony. It is joy. It is abundance. It is everything that they were just singing about. Then that is the who of who we are. That is the what that Allison was talking about of what we are. That we ourselves are the microcosm of the greater macrocosm. That so we can imitate or mimic or use or express ourselves by way of the same laws and principles that the universe uses to create, because we are one with that. We are inseparable from that. It's the very who of who we are. It's what we are. It's how we operate. It's how we work. So we can either do it unintentionally with mixed results, or we can do it intentionally with perhaps more interesting results. Interesting is just awful without the drama. Interesting is just meh, but without the drama, right? So, I love this. I love this. You, then, therefore, are a unique individualization. You are a unique expression of spirit. So that is the yes, your expression of spirit. That's the big capital yes that's there. The other yes that Ed was mentioning in the meditation this morning, he defined yes also as your essential self. Well, what is your essential self? Your essential self is spirit, right? So what are we saying yes to? We're saying yes to the yes. We're saying yes to your essential self. You are saying yes to your expression of spirit, because spirit is all that there is. The creativity of spirit is all that there is. Love is all that there is. Spirit is all that there is, but yet you are an individualized expression of this one spirit, this one life. You are an individualized manifestation of, an impartation of, an expression of spirit itself. That is who you are. That is the very essence of your being. You are spirit made manifest uniquely as you. So when we're saying yes to spirit, and we're saying yes to you're saying yes to your individualized expression, unique and glorious and magnificent and perfect expression of spirit itself. How cool is that? How cool is that? That it is you. And you're saying yes to it. Because a lot of times we can think that, I'm really not that creative. I'm not that expressive. I don't know who I am. I'm just kind of like, nah. Life is just kind of happening, right? And we forget sometimes that our purpose, that your purpose here is to be the power and the presence of love. It's to be the power and the presence of love. So if anybody goes, I don't know what my purpose in life is, I don't know what my purpose is, I'm telling you right now. It's to be the power and the presence of love. It's that simple. It's to be the power and the presence of love. Now, how you do that is that individualized expression piece. That is that your expression of spirit. How you show up, how you be the power and the presence of love is uniquely individualized as you. You are that beautiful expression. You are an individualized expression of love. So don't worry about your purposes. You got that checked off, yes? You know what your purpose is. I'm here to be the power and the presence of love. So are you. So is everybody. My purpose is clear. Now, how I live out that purpose, how I express that purpose, and how you live it out and how you would express it may be different. In fact, it is different. And you know what? It's glorious when it's different, because then we get to see spirit showing up in all of its multitude of ways, that there is this beautiful diversity, there's this beautiful creativity, there's this beautiful individualized expression as each one of us, and it's so gorgeous. You are gorgeous. Oh, feel that. Dang. Delicious. Creativity itself is a natural impulse for us. Love is a natural impulse. So how do we show up as love? How do you show up as the presence? How do you show up as the power of love? So that's a bigger question, or that's a more interesting question, right? How do we show up as my essential self, your yes, your expression of spirit? How do you show up? So we have already established we know what our purpose is. And then we might think of, oh, okay, well, if I follow my passion, or if I tell you, follow your passion, you'll be like, okay, yeah, follow my passion. What is my passion? I don't know what my passion is. And that could be a challenge. And if you already know your passion, me telling you to live your passion is kind of redundant, isn't it? Because if you already know your passion, likely you're already living your passion. So, how do we access this high idea, that spirit is wanting to express through me? Because each one of us, spirit is wanting to express an idea. Spirit is wanting to express itself uniquely through each and every one of us. There is a high idea for our lives. Spirit has a high idea. Spirit has that beautiful impulse that is wanting to move through us. Ernest Holmes says it this way: there is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us to be happy, to be whole, and to express the fullness of life. The divinity within stirs our imagination and proclaims itself in every creative endeavor. So how do we access that? Well, one of the ways that we access that is through spiritual practice. One of the ways we access that is through the spiritual practice of visioning, where we turn within and we listen and we open to the impress of spirit. We open to the spirit within, that still small voice within, to reveal within each one of us the high idea. We call this inspiration, right? Spirit is inspiring in spirit. Spirit is inspiring. Spirit is presenting an idea that there is this within us, and it is inspiring us. It is living in us, in, through, and as us. And its highest idea is wanting to live, move, breathe, and have its being in, through, and as each one of us. It's wanting to express. And so we access it, we listen, we open and make ourselves available to the high idea of spirit. We do it through visioning, we do it through meditation, where we become still and we open our ears and we listen, we open our heart and we just listen and wait. Wait upon the revelation. Just listen. Just be still. Another way that we access it is through play, and we played all month last month. Last month was the theme of play. Wasn't it so much fun? We played and we had a good time, and so when we're playing, that sparks that play brings us into our present moment. It allows us to be fully present in the moment, which is where we access and we experience the divine when we are in play, when we are having fun, when we are experiencing joy, and we can cultivate that. And so when we're doing that, when we're playing, then it sparks other faculties within us. It sparks our intuition, and it sparks our imagination, and perhaps it even sparks our daydreaming and and being open and receptive to brand new ideas or to brand new possibilities or infinite potentialities. When we're playing, when we engage in that play, when we have a good time, when we have fun together, and when we do it together, even more so, right? It multiplies, as we saw last week, when we shared our joys and it just kept multiplying, and the room was just vibrating with joy and vibrating with love and celebration. So play is another way. Imagination is another way. And then there's the way of your interests and your curiosities. And maybe this is the easiest way to access that unique expression of self, your essential self. Because curiosity only asks, what are you interested in? What are you interested in? The stakes aren't very high with curiosity. It's just like, what are you interested in? What might spark your interest? What might just trigger a little bit of curiosity, just a little bit of interest? Right? The stakes aren't high. It's not like, what's your passion? Like, what are you interested in? What are you curious about? And when we look at the curiosities, when we go down this road of exploration, we can follow them and follow them from curiosity to curiosity, interest to interest, and more interest and more interest, and see where it leads us, and follow the path of curiosity, follow the path of question, follow the path of, follow the path of wonder, right? Which we talked about at the very beginning of the year, and we continue to talk about. When we allow our curiosity to just even spark even the slightest thing, and then we follow it like a breadcrumb, or we follow it like a step, and just see where that leads and see where that leads. What happens when we do that is we live a much more interesting life, because there's always something new, there's always something coming forward, there's always some more to explore, deepen, grow, expand, learn, experience. And we don't have to make it happen. We just simply say yes to the curiosity. So Elizabeth Gilbert, she's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Know that book? Yeah. She's also the author of Big Magic. And in Big Magic, she talks about one of her experiences where she was kind of in this dry spell, like she didn't know what she wanted to write about next. Like, because she's an author and she wrote memoirs and she's also written novels. And she was like, I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to write. Writing is her passion, right? We know that. But the subject matter was just really boggling her mind. It's like, I don't know what to write about. And so she just asked herself the question. She's like, okay, Liz, what are you interested in? And at the time, she was interested in gardening. Gardeners. She was interested in gardening. Right? And not only was she interested in gardening, what she found as she was learning more about the plants in her yard is she became interested in where the plants originated, where they actually came from in the world. And that took her on an even greater journey of what the plants could be used for and how these plants migrated or moved from Europe or the Middle East or East Asia to New Jersey, of all places. Yay! Which is also, ironically, the Garden State. So there you are. But she was living in New Jersey and experiencing this, and so what it ended up happening was that this little interest in changing her plants in the backyard and making her backyard a little bit more beautiful turned into a deep study of botanical history that ended up being that she ended up kind of becoming an expert in the area itself that turned into her next novel about a family of botanists that were living in French Polynesia. Michael Singer, another author, what he did is he decided he was going to say yes to everything. He was going to surrender to spirit, and he was just going to say yes. Whatever showed up in front of him, this was the yes. So he said yes to whatever showed up in front of him. So he went from kind of a hippie college student to creating WebMD on this very interesting path that would not have been possible if he hadn't just said yes to the next indicated step, to the next yes, and just kept saying yes to the clues, yes to the curiosity, and yes to whatever was next. Now, just because these two people found great success by saying yes in these ways, and success and fame, perhaps, they didn't start off trying to achieve that. All it was a simple yes, a yes to curiosity. So what are you curious about today? What are you curious about today? What do you have even the slightest, teensiest, tiniest interest in today? And what if you said yes to that? What if you just said yes to that today? What might happen? What might life look like? Well, it'll be different than what it is today, right? It opens you to different possibilities, new adventures, perhaps an even more interesting life. A life that you're actually living, being fully in the present with Spirit, cooperating with Spirit, not trying to, or not living at the whim of Spirit, not living at its whim where it's saying, oh, no, I'm going to withhold something from you, that it's some kind of tyrant, that the universe is working against you. It's not that. Nor is it trying to manipulate the universe to make it what you want it to be. trying to change it, trying to work with it, trying to control it. No. When you say yes to the yes, when you say yes to your essential self, when you say yes to your expression of spirit, and you say yes to your curiosity, what happens is we come into partnership with. We enter into a divine partnership with spirit. And so we keep saying yes, and then the how takes care of itself. We don't have to force the how. We don't have to make it happen. It happens. We don't have to try to control things. Because when we get into control, what we're really doing is we're really resisting. We're resisting something else rather than being fully in the flow of life, fully in the flow of spirit. And we have been created to cooperate with, to collaborate with, to be in partnership with spirit, because we are what? Co-creators with spirit. We co-create with spirit. We co-create as spirit. We co-create with the universe. We co-create with one another. So why say yes? Why say yes? Well, you could say no. You don't have to say yes. But in my experience, saying yes leads to more happiness. Saying yes leads to greater peace. Saying yes leads to living in the flow. Saying yes deepens my connection with and understanding of spirit. Saying yes puts me in the flow of life. And there have been times when I have said no. Have there been times when you've said no? And what did that feel like when you said no? Because spirit's going to find a way, one way or the other. We can either go with it and say yes to it, or we can resist it and we can suffer. We can be in the pain, we can be in the agony, we can be in the stuckness. Or we can be open and curious and just say, you know what, spirit? I know spirit's got it. I trust in spirit. I trust in the process. I trust in the creativity. And as much as I love my creativity, as much as I love spirit, spirit loves me even more. Spirit's got this. Spirit has me. And remember, we're not talking about spirit out there somewhere. Spirit's right here. It's always right here. Closer than the breath, nearer than hands and feet. So this week, beloveds, your tool, your transformation tool this week, find one thing, something small even, something tiny, it doesn't have to be big, and just say yes to it. Just say yes to it. And see where it leads you this week. Just see. What possibilities open when you say yes to this one thing that you may be interested in? It doesn't have to be big, be small. Just say yes and allow spirit to lead the way. Okie doke? How about a yes? Yes. All right. So I invite you once again to say yes to the yes. Let's hear it. Yes. One more time, because Jabel laughed because I don't think she believed you. So here we go. Let's say yes to the yes. Absolutely. All right. So I invite our practitioners and core council members to please stand and surround the sanctuary. And as they do, hey, Leslie. Hey, Bill. Great to see y'all. All right. So the practitioners and core council members are in prayer for this beloved congregation every single day. I invite you to take advantage of prayer after service. As Allison mentioned, both Ed and Allison will be in the prayer room just outside the sanctuary doors here for a brief moment of prayer immediately following service. So let's just turn within. Yes. And so I say yes to Spirit. I recognize that Spirit is all that there is. There is just this one life, this one power, this one presence. It is the power and the presence of love, and it is that which I am. I am the power and the presence of love made manifest. I'm a divine, individualized expression of Spirit itself, of life itself, of love itself. This is the who of who I am. This is my purpose. This is why I've come to be. I am a unique, individualized expression of this one life, of Spirit itself. And so I say yes to my essential self. I say yes, yes, yes. As Spirit continues to reveal itself through and as me in greater ways, in more expansive ways, in more creative ways. Spirit continuously creates, and I recognize that I am a co-creator with it, that I am inseparable from it, that the very who of who I am is Spirit making itself known as me, because I am the microcosm of the macrocosm. The creative process is alive in me. My consciousness is aligned with the consciousness of Spirit, and so therefore the word I speak is creative. By my very presence, I create. By my very presence, I know that I am worthy of creation itself, because here I am. I don't need to be anything different. I don't need to be something other than who I am. And I let it shine. I let it express itself. I stand here a vessel, a vehicle through which Spirit makes itself known, through which Spirit creates the high idea that Spirit has for my life, the high idea that Spirit has for this spiritual community moves through, comes through, and expresses through each and every one gathered here this day. We say yes to it. We say yes to the beauty, the magnificence, the glory, the most perfect expression of love and life itself. This is who we are. This is who we've come to be. And so we say yes to all of it. And we give thanks for the creative expression. We give thanks for life itself. We give thanks for love. We give thanks for the realization that this is who we are, and this is why we show up so beautifully and magnificently and uniquely. To see and experience love, to see and experience Spirit in all of our siblings, sisters, and brothers. In the world around us and the universe in which we are a part. How good it is to know this. How good it is to experience it, and I'm grateful for all of it. So I release this word here and now, knowing it is absolutely done. It is absolutely perfect. The creative law is in motion, in circulation, and I don't have to worry about the how. Spirit has the how. I just say yes. Yes to the what. Yes to the yes. I let it be, and so it is.